What's up, everybody? Here's some video of a rainbow draft that I participated in this past weekend. This was technically the second portion of the rainbow draft weekend that everyone had about a month ago. We pushed our second portion back so that it lined up better with everyone's schedule. This is the DC portion, and we decided to draft the Green Arrow and Flash set. As with the other drafts that are on my channel, this is an accelerated draft, meaning that the first 6 packs that you would normally open and draft from, you actually just keep. So here are the first 6 packs that I went ahead and kept. I had an uncommon Felicity Smoke, which is great. A really good Superman, but pretty expensive. But if I see Justice League characters, it's great. Common Zatanna. Dr. Light. Any Dr. Light is pretty good. This one is the weakest of all of them. It was the common. A really nice power ring. It's got a really good stat line for a 4-drop and can get buffed very easily. An uncommon katana. All of the katanas are pretty nice. Common Huntress. I actually picked up a White Lantern Wonder Woman. We'll see that in a second. Jay Garrick. Uncommon Jay Garrick. White Lantern Wonder Woman. I pulled that in this first 6 packs and kind of chuckled at it a little bit, seeing that come out. And Deathstroke. Common Deathstroke. So there's a few of those cards that I like as part of a team, possibly. It just depends on what shows up in the draft. That's really the biggest question. I also in there had Speedy, which I'm not too big on any of her iterations, so probably not. And Captain Cold. Again, on that one, probably not. Using him, unless things show up that look so far good. So this was my first pull. I pulled Gorilla Grodd in the first one. This is round 2 that I'm showing you, and that was my choice for round 2. I'll go ahead and scan through the cards in round 2 really quickly. So you can see all of these were the options. There's a nice little foil common. I think there's a rare in here as well. Uncommon Weather Wizard, some decent stuff. There's a rare Merlin and uncommon foil. So I probably could have pulled that uncommon foil just for the foil aspect. But I ended up going with rare Grodd in round 1. There was nothing of importance in round 1. And in round 2 took that power ring because that now gives me 2 dice for power ring, and it's a 4-drop, meaning I can buy them turn 1 and turn 2 if I wanted to. Draft round 3 begins. Got a nice Killer Frost there. Merlin. Didn't pull one from my packs and didn't draft him last turn. Deadshot, King Shark is great. There were 3 King Sharks that I could possibly pull from. That's one of them. If it were the rare King Shark, I'd pick that up in a heartbeat. So you saw the impulse there on the rare Black Canary. That's a possibility. So I'm separating these into sort of 2 sections, definite no's and possible yeses. So I'll go through the possible yeses. King Shark is a good finisher, but I already have a 6-cost finisher in Grodd, who I know will end up on the team because it's that good. Black Canary's good with that impulse, allowing me to make something unblockable. At this point, though, I'm starting to think maybe I just go with good stat lines and then a basic action that makes things hard to block, like Cloud Kill. That's my thought process here at the beginning. And then picking up another Gorilla Grodd would give me 2 dice for Gorilla Grodd. Looking through them one more time, really for me it's between that Black Canary and between the Gorilla Grodd. And eventually I'm going to end up going ahead here and picking up that Gorilla Grodd. It was actually tough because I picked up the Black Canary first and then thought, now I might as well just take the Gorilla Grodd, get 2 dice for a 6-drop, which you can pretty much easily afford if you run Superhero Registration Act. Another King Shark. Passing on the first one is kind of strange. Makes picking it up the second time kind of strange. Exact same card, too. It's the uncommon. Got nice little foil common Zatanna. I actually have that card already, so I don't have to foil draft here. Looking over the cards again, I actually like this Weather Wizard pretty well. That is the card I have rated the worst in the set, and yet I still consider it in this entire set. Star Labs is a good global if you've got the ability to pay for it, but if you're not running constructed, it's probably pretty hard to pay for it. And by that card earlier, I mean the common Wonder Woman or Wonder Girl, whatever her name is. Common Wonder Girl is, in my opinion, the worst card in this set. And yet, I'm still considering between her and Static. I'm considering her because she's a 2-drop fist, and she feeds well into Gorilla Grodd if I pick her up early. And she's got a fine stat line. It's nothing special, but she does nothing for you outside of being a 2-drop fist. And I end up just picking up Static because he's just got a better ability. It's the uncommon one, so he spins up every time my opponent rolls or re-rolls 2 dice. So he's an easy pick. Passing on, moving on to the next round of drafting. Really good Firestorm. All of the Firestorms are really good. All of the Dr. Lights are really good. There's the rare, 2 rares right back to back, and a foil. This is a crazy draft, man. 2 rares back to back. Roy Harper's. One of them is a Roy Harper. One of them is that Wonder Girl. So if I'd have drafted that Wonder Girl, then this would be an easy pickup. Star Labs again is a possibility, but I like the possibility of Firestorm here. When he attacks, deal 1 damage to target character die for each other character die in your field zone. So if I fill up my field zone with a ton of small characters and then drop him and attack with him, I can KO something else on the board. So if I'm running some already KO heavy team or action, then he fits into that nicely. He's also a Bolt, and I have Bolt synergy with Power Ring already. So between him and Dr. Light, probably end up going with him. I've got the synergy. He's a 4-drop. Easy. So I've got 2 bolts, 1 fist so far on this team. So picking up a shield is kind of strange. But I like the idea of the cannot block thing, which is why she's still sticking around, Dr. Light. She's a very powerful, especially in draft, she's a very powerful ally. But I've already got the synergy with bolts, so I end up going the 2-5-6 route because he's got a 2-5-6 top face, or his 3rd face. So I end up taking him. I'm just trying to draft good stats, able to attack, give me a lot of flexibility. He's got a good back end. He can take a lot of punishment with a 6-drop. And right off the bat on round 6 here, there's a foil. Amanda Waller, though, she doesn't fit into anything that I have here. Another Wonder Girl. Another rare. A lot of rare passes towards me. If I rare drafted so far, I'd be doing really well. I don't know how my team would be, but I'd be having the time of my life rare drafting here. A lot of people wanted to play for the win in this tournament, it seems, because they're not picking up rares just because they're rares. They're picking up cards that are fitting into their strategies. So, uncommon Amanda Waller. Diggle. Wonder Girl. Those Hal Jordans are not bad, but neither of them are the 2-drop Hal Jordan. And then Cosmic Treadmill. Not too terrible, not too bad. But I don't know if I would spend 4 and to have to roll those 2 energy types just to do it. So here probably the best bet looks to be that Wonder Girl. Even though it's the worst card in the set. Seems to just fit better. Fits the fist synergy, allows me to buy the unblockable Grodd a lot easier. So I will take the worst card, standalone worst card in the set. Dice Masters is fun and funny in that way because you can say it's the worst card, but it's definitely playable because you bring more than one copy of it and you can use it in so many different ways. So even though that would technically be classified as the worst card in the set, that has a lot of playability to it. So there's some interesting aspects of Dice Masters that aren't in other games. Black Canary has a better stat line than the Wonder Girl, and has a better stat line on average than some other 3-drops. So that's why that's not the worst card in the set. Uncommon foil again, man. If I should foil draft, foil draft or rare draft, just the entire draft and pick up everything I would need. It would be good, but I want the prize support and I like winning. I guess that's me. I like putting together a team of a functional team and then seeing if I can play it to its best of its ability. Static here is a good pick because it gives me another die that I can spin up. Nothing else here outside of that Wonder Girl, maybe. The uncommon Wonder Girl is actually a pretty good card in comparison to that common Wonder Girl. Because now that I have Static, and I know I'm going to be running Static, then I know I'll have a Teen Titan out on the field, and then I can pick her up for one each turn. One generic, too, not one fist. So any extra energy can go to picking up her and just flooding the board, continuing to flood the board. Don't want a rare Grodd. Probably take the rare foil here because you never see rare foils. Or if you do, they're gone already. None of this really fits. I mean, I can pick up another Grodd and try to run the 5, but the 5-drop version, but the 6-drop rare is just so much better. And it's got the built-in global, which is nice. Allows you to spin a sidekick out of your field zone into a fist, which there's some argument about whether or not that's actually the ability, but I'm pretty sure that's how that's supposed to work. So I actually rare draft here. Rare foil draft there. Pick up a rare foil Diggle. Not going to fit into the team so far, but that's not too important. Some more Diggles. There's an uncommon Wonder Girl, so it's probably the best time here to pick that up. I could go Diggle, but it just doesn't fit. It gives me something to do with my shields. Jay Garrick, synergy ability, not too useful. Especially in this set, I think there's only 5 or no, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 different globals in the set, and none of them are these crazy killer globals that you have to worry about. So I take that Wonder Girl. Gives me 2 of her dice, 2 static dice. I'm gonna have 2 Gorilla Grods. I'm gonna have 2. What's that card? Here, Weather Wizard is a great pick. It's either between Weather Wizard or Merlin. Both of those are good fits for this team. Bolt synergy for both. 2 power rings. That's what I was trying to get to earlier. So stat lines on either of these 2 cards. Weather Wizard survives more often than not than Merlin. So I end up taking Weather Wizard. Both are villains as well. I have a nice little villain synergy going. And then I have here Merlin, so if I would have taken that last Merlin, then I would have had this one as well. 2 dice for that. Deadshot. Deadshot's actually a good pickup because you play him out there and you can pick villains and all your villains cost 1 less. That means, and then I get a Weather Wizard passed to me, so I end up with 2 Weather Wizards. So I end up with a really full team when it comes to dice, that is. Especially in a Rainbow Draft. I'm used to playing more of like a Highlander type thing where I only have 1 die for every card. This is going to be a nice full team. I don't usually end up buying that many characters when I do play drafts or anything like that in general, but I'm going to have a lot of utility. There's going to be a lot of opportunity to do so. So I end up with 2 Wonder Girls, and I'm going to run that common. 2 Statics, going to run the uncommon that I picked up both times. I'm going to run 1 Huntress because she's a villain. She gets discounted by Deadshot, who I also have 1 of, drafted there at the end. 1 Firestorm, who's a nice little KO 1 character, and it's a character of your choosing, especially if I get all of those low drops out on the field. 2 Power Rings. Power Ring's a great stat line. Got a 5/5 side, 3/3, 4/4, 5/5, and gets buffed attack for non-villain characters, which I think 2/3, 66% of the set is non-villain characters. Got a Weather Wizard that allows me to, when it's fielded, deal 2 damage to any non-crossover character die, which is pretty cool. Easy, nice little knockout. And then I have Gorilla Grodd, which is an amazing card. I'm really happy that I got to look at that and draft that very first. Good finisher. As for the basic actions, I tossed and turned on these for about 10 minutes. Well, 5 to 10 minutes. I knew I wanted some ramp, so Superhero Registration Act was on towards the top of my list. Also thought about Resurrection just for something to do with my shield, since I don't have shield characters. And then as for anger issues, I picked that over Hulk Out, and I also picked that out over Cloud Kill. Mainly because I felt like I already had enough mechanisms to board clear, and I already had an unblockable character with Gorilla Grodd. So if I just bought those Gorilla Grodds up, then maybe I can get them in without having to worry about buying Cloud Kill. Therefore, the global on this works a lot better, and it has some synergy with Gorilla Grodd's global. So a lot of little pieces there that fit together nicely. Plus, it's a 4-drop, which means people are less likely to buy it. All that being said, let's see how that actually pans out.